If you're looking for a resource for maps, you came to the right spot, so hang on tight. Hey, welcome back to the channel, friends. As always, man, it is good to see you. So one of the top questions I've been asked over the past few months is, hey, Stoker, man, you're using all these maps in your videos. Where can I get some maps if I don't have a place to go? I don't have a local REI, I don't have a local dealer or distributor to sells maps for my area or for where I want to go. Where can I go so I can make something so I can print it off at home and rock with it from there? So that's what we're going to look at today. All right, so I'm going to walk you through step by step on both of these. So let's get to this. And so the first thing that we're going to do, obviously, is open up our computer, and I'm just going to go to Google and start typing in USGS. And I'm going to go to Science for a Changing World, and here we are on their site. And there's so many resources here, so many resources throughout the site. It's crazy. If we scroll down a little bit, we can see a little bit more about what they have to offer. And I don't know how often they update the majority of the stuff that they have on their site, but it is pretty interesting to look at and to walk through all the way down through the products, and that's what we're going to get into here in a few seconds. So we'll scroll back up to the top, and we're going to go, and we see on the top we got science, and then all the subcategories that we have. So if you just maybe have a kid who loves science and wants to learn more about the world and what's going on around us, this is a great resource for them as well. Or teenagers, somebody going to college, something like this. And then you have products over on the right, which we're going to get into in a minute. But here we see the mapping under science. So, as it relates specifically to what I do and I talk about a lot when it comes to cartography, again, so many resources on their site. It's absolutely crazy. You could get lost. And so if you want to meet, some of the dudes who are out there actually work for USGS as cartographers, this will kind of help tell their story. And kind of interesting, I guess, if you're into that. All the little subcategories that we have here. And then we can scroll back up here and go to products, and we can see maps, and that's where we're really going to have some fun. So we'll click on that, and we can see all of the things again between the topographical maps and some of the other things. Of course, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for topographical maps. So the website can get a little tricky sometimes. It's not always the easiest thing to navigate. But if we spend a little time on the website, we can start to figure it out. So we can sort, by all. It's just a big database. It is really all this website is. And if you apply different filters, it's going to lead you to different results. So again, if I just do the simple search, I'm not getting what I want. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to go into the store. And we're going to see how we're going to be able to filter this a little bit different. So we scroll back down, and we'll just go by Find Maps by Location. And then, we got another window that's going to pop up. So we're going to go to the U.S. Now we're going to go to New Mexico. It's the first place that I started to work outside and really started to get a love for the outdoors was in New Mexico. And let's see if we can go to, we'll just go to General Maps. And then what we have here, I say I have no products. Now, that doesn't mean that there's no maps of New Mexico. That's what I'm saying. It's not the easiest thing. But I can go to show all the maps, and now I have an Excel spreadsheet that I can find every single map that they have of New Mexico. And you can see, look at all of these maps that they have of New Mexico. We can just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling all the way down. So even if you want to go over to Roswell, which is where I was born, by the way, you can find some maps. So this is opening up the spreadsheet is a good, healthy tool to get some keywords for an area if you're trying to find a particular map. So now that we have that in our kit bag, we're going to go to all products, and then we're going to filter by country again. We get the U.S., and then we're going to go to New Mexico, and then we're going to apply our filters, and bam, we have all kinds of maps now. So we're going to go to the Gila. We're going to go into the Gila Wilderness. We'll see if we can't find one for the Gila Wilderness. And again, here's just some more additional filters that you can use, different scales that you can try to pull for or from. Of course, if you hit a filter and there's not one there of a particular scale, you're not going to get any result at all. And I have all these different media types as well. And let's see. So that's an interesting thing. You know, you have someone that's print only, and then see how that's grayed and shaded out. If we scroll back down just a little bit, let's find one. Oh, see, we have some that says view and download. So that's where these are the ones that you want to click on if you're going to want to be able to print something. So we're going to click on one, and if we have all these dates, but you want to make sure that it has the view and download, because you can either purchase the product online through their store, or you can even take some screenshots and make your own map and print that off from your own printer. So we'll look at Gila Wilderness map. And oh man, I love the Gila Wilderness. The Gila Wilderness, if you didn't know, is the oldest wilderness area in the United States. The very first one, the very first wilderness area. And a wilderness area is an area that is set aside that says you're going to leave this place untouched. You're not going to do any logging. You're not going to do any farming. You're not going to do anything that's going to be invasive or damaging or harming to the environment. So it's pretty cool. And you can kind of scroll in here. And of course, Gila Wilderness is probably most known for the Gila Hot Springs. The Gila Hot Springs. But you know, as you're looking at maps, of course, you know, they give you all kinds of information. In the USGS, the maps that they make serves as the foundation for every topographical map, even the ones that I use in the military. So it's kind of a really good resource to get into. And you do want to pay attention to things like how old the map is, if you're concerned about declination, because declination does change over time in a particular area. So you can always go down and look down, and if this one was, look at that, 1965. 1965 is how old is when this map was updated for. Pretty interesting. This one doesn't give us a lot of legend information, but you know, I think that's fine. And we got a contour interval there of 40 feet. That's quite a bit. Well, I guess it may, for the scale, it's not too bad. Here's the Gila Hot Springs, if I can learn how to talk. And this is actually, this is not the hot springs itself, the site. This is actually the very first ranch that I worked on was right here by this hot springs. And it was an interesting fact. When I went to work up here, I was 13 years old, and they did have these hot springs, and so we got our water over to the ranch, and we had to cross over to get our hot water, and we piped, to get cold water, we had to pipe underneath the river. We had to pipe underneath the river to cool off the water. You know, it's almost the exact opposite. We didn't have hot water heaters. We had a cold water river. But it's just absolutely amazing sight, and it was a really good experience for me. I can't speak so much about it. Look at all that wilderness area, man. We used to take people out backpacking or on horseback for, you know, sometimes two days on the trail, and then leave dudes, you know, for upwards of a week, and then come back and get them. So it's pretty interesting. So here's the Gila Hot Springs. Great place if you've never been there. You have to be very intentional, because it's not the easiest. It's not the easiest monument to get to, but it is pretty interesting there. Some of the oldest history that we have from within the United States are, of course, natives who lived in cliffs. And a couple spots in New Mexico that are extraordinarily old, you know, compared to other Indian tribes and things of this nature. You can scroll back in just a little bit. And, you know, you can do all kinds of things. You know, we can drag and cut and paste different sections if we wanted to. So we can do that. And now we have a little screenshot. And I can do all kinds of things with this, whether I want to make my own map to print, I would caution, add in a screenshot of the scale of the map onto the same image when you're getting ready to print. But being able to do this is going to enable you to get an 8.5 by 11, and I've done that for myself going off even here locally because I don't like using the exact same map over and over again. So that's just one thing we can do. So if we just type in topographical maps, and we can see, we have the USGS right up on the top because they are the king. If I scroll back down, My Topo is another site that has some interesting features in it as well that we can use. So we can go to printed maps, and then we can see, where do we want our map, and we're going to type in Gila Hot Springs and let it search. See what it comes up with. And so here we are. Man, this map looks eerily familiar, doesn't it? It's because they don't make maps, right? They don't make maps. But here's where I worked, right? There's the ranch area where I worked. You can go see Doc Campbell. Doc Campbell's not alive anymore, but the interesting thing about what these guys do is they do add some shaded relief. And there are a couple of folks out there that do this, and having that shade will help, almost make a 2D map look 3D, and if you can do that. But we'll go into, let's see, let's click on the custom topographical map, and we'll scroll down here. We got 24 by 36. So here, this is just a means of ordering your own map. And let's go to continue step 3. You can even get one laminated. And the prices aren't horrible. So if you're operating in one particular area, or maybe they have a map that has of an area for where you live, or maybe you have a cabin or some property, you can get one that's laminated, printed, hang up on a wall. And I think that's a perfect time to purchase a map for sure. But here, $16 for just a rolled waterproof map, man, that is not bad at all. That's about what I'm going to pay at REI for a decent map. And you got all these different features that we can get in there overlaid from our grid lines. And we can see, like I said, the information that we're getting on the ground is the exact same we're going to get from USGS. So if you're just looking to screenshot something, I might just go to USGS, but you do have the option of having the shaded relief here on these maps. And that really, having that shaded relief really helps pop the actual terrain. And for those who are maybe just getting into maps, will really be a good resource to have to help make that come alive. So we'll go back again. Let's go back in here. A little different avenue or approach, and we're getting closer into southwest New Mexico is where the Gila Wilderness is at. And then we're having to see where it's closed. Now we're getting a little bit closer into where I worked at. Scroll up a little bit, and there's Hot Springs, the RV park. That's wasn't there when I go there. You got Doc Campbell post. Doc Campbell's the gentleman he's the father of Becky Campbell, who was running the ranch, at least back in the 90s. I don't know who's running it now. But we go here to Topo, and now we have, again, I'll scroll back out. And I think these guys have a mobile app as well, and there's a couple others out there. I did a review a while back of some top land navigation apps that you can look for, and most of them are free. If you're interested in those, I'll try to remember to put a card right up here. You can go check those out. But this is a good one because you can, go into different areas and again have that shaded relief and put some more stuff in your kit bag. So I hope it was time well spent with me, friends. If you do have some comments, make sure you leave them down below, and I will get back to you either in a comment. I'll definitely type out a response to you, or if it's something I think that's going to be of benefit to the wider audience, to all the other subscribers and everybody else who may coming out. I'll even work up its own video. So learn how to talk, man. Do leave some comments and we'll keep this conversation rolling. If you liked the video, make sure you do hit that like button. It's a nice, easy, takes almost literally no effort to do. And make sure, if you haven't already done so and you want to master your craft, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so you can stay up to date on some future content. And as always, until then, we'll see you.